December 28th, 2016. The year is coming to an end. And what a year it has been. Oh, by the way, D. McClung here. Art to Monologues. I want to talk about something that happened to me. I shouldn't say happened to me. It was an event that occurred, and I was involved in some small way. I might say this, that there was also a young lady. I am being polite. I don't know if she's a lady or not. She was a young person, a youthful human being. I'm going to guess an adult. If I had to guess, and it's hard to tell, because some people, and maybe you're aware of this, but some people look a little worse for wear, if you know what I mean. They might be. They might look a little older because they've had a rough life, or they have not taken care of themselves, such as alcohol abuse. I like that phrase, abuse. I think that's not really the right word to use. Alcohol abuse is like I beat alcohol with a stick. Anyway, that's another story. The point is, the thing is, I want to talk about is the incident I had last night with this girl, and let's just say, for the sake of discussion, that she's a monologue actually. For the sake of monologue, let's just say she was maybe 20 years old. Driving a kind of a yellow, ugly car. So she was, I was in my house doing what I do, and I didn't hear anything, but which is unusual because I usually do, but I didn't for some reason. And I was in the house. I was down the hallway at the shop, and I heard pounding on the door, on the front door, which is also unusual, seeing as how people usually come to the inn door, which is closer to the driveway and closer to, well, it just seemed like it would be the way you would go in. To me, it would seem. But some people, I guess they think the front door is better than the inn door, I guess. I don't know why. Possibly because there are lights shining through the windows of the living room where the front door is. And she figured, I better go closest to where there are people. Whereas at the inn door, there is no light, usually, except for maybe a little night light. So anyway, I heard the pounding on the door. I went to the door and switched on the light. It was dark. I'm guessing it was, 10 o'clock or so, p.m. And I switch on the light and look through the blind, and there's a girl standing there. I should call her a woman, but I'm old enough I can call anybody younger than me by, say, a generation. I think I can call them a girl. I don't mean it in any disrespect or anything in a condescending way. I suppose I would get in trouble if I called her a kid or a child, seeing as how children are like under 12, prepubescent and not in their teens or early 20s. For you who think that children are like, whatever age you want them to be in your fantasies, or in your deluded mind, I wish to point out that the words mean what they mean. And child means child. It doesn't mean adult or teenager. I have to get that in there because I have to keep repeating it because people keep ignoring that fact and getting things wrong. Now, I should probably suggest that maybe the word child could be like an offspring of you. Like if you have a child, if you have a baby, if you produce offspring, out of your womb, either through C-section or through your vagina, however it may get out of your body, you have produced a child, your child. And if you were, say, talking to someone who was not the parent of that child, you might say, "This is my child, Brenda." And she's 22 years old and single and needs a husband. You know how mothers are. Anyway, then you would say, since that person is not your child, you did not produce that person, that living, breathing adult or adolescent or prepubescent creature, you would not call that person your child. You are not a parent of it. You did not contribute to its creation or its gestation and birth. Unless, of course, I'm not talking about the doctor who delivered it, if you want to use those words to say it. But if you're just like a stranger, I am Miss Brenda. I already gave the girl, Brenda. Okay, so the mother's name is Shirley. And I'm Shirley, blah, 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 whatever the last name might be. And this is my child, Brenda, who is 22, single, and could use a husband to keep her because I'm tired of taking care of her all the time. And I gotta feed her and clothe her and, give her a place to live and shit, and she's just an obligation. I think she's old enough to go out and live on her own now. If not a husband, at least give her a job. All right. Now, I'm not saying any of this applies to the incident of last night. But anything, it's interesting. Anyway, nonetheless, I think so. I don't know if you think so or not. Don't care whether you think so or not. Anyway, so the incident was this. She was driving up the road, that goes past my house. And it's kind of a country road, you could say. It's not like in a city. It's not in a town. It's not in any area that's incorporated. It's not chartered. It's just a place that's there and between two hills. It's out of a valley. And as we sometimes call it around here, where I live, we call it a holler. And it goes up the holler to a place which has got a name of its own. And people live up in there. There's a little cluster of houses. A few people live up there. It's an old coal mining camp kind of place. At any rate, she was driving up towards that end of the holler. And I don't know how fast she was going. Don't know. I have no idea. And she didn't tell me. And I don't really care. So she came around the curve. There's quite a bit of a curve down there, and it's somewhat dangerous in the wintertime, like if there's ice on the road or snow on the road. You come around that curve at just about any speed. You have a good chance of slipping and sliding your vehicle, that is to say, over the edge of the road and into the creek, which is what happened to her. And I can't say that there was any ice or snow on the road, because there wasn't. Could have been some ice, because it was getting chilly and things, the moisture on the ground and the air and so on was starting to freeze. Or was already frozen, but I didn't see any ice in that particular area, because I went by there. We'll get to that. So anyway, she pulled off. She ran off the road, plop, belly flopped right in the creek. And the airbags deployed, and she kind of got a busted lip a little bit bloody. Nothing life-threatening, and nothing that would cause her to, die or anything like that. And possibly the only and the airbags deployed and hit her in the face and busted her lip. I guess that's what happened. She mentioned that several times, that the airbags deployed and smacked her in the face. So anyway, she climbed out of the vehicle and waded through the creek, apparently. There's a little bit of water in the creek. It's not seriously deep, but anyway, at night, and it was dark. And how she managed to do that without a flashlight or whatever, I don't know. But she did. And she came and she saw, I'm guessing she even knew that I live here at this particular place beside the bridge. You could see my house from her car. So if she just looked straight ahead after she got the airbags out of her face, she could probably just look out the front windshield and just look straight into my kitchen window. Now, it's a distance away. She couldn't see clearly what's going on in my kitchen. She could see a light shining, perhaps, in my kitchen, out my kitchen window. Now, so she gets out of the car and as it turns out, she forgets her purse and whatever other stuff she might have with her. Just leaves it in the car and comes out and climbs up the bank and walks up the road to my house. And knocks on the door. Well, pounds on the door, actually. One of those, it was loud and firm and thud, thud, thud. And, but to be fair, my pounding on my storm door would cause that sound to be kind of loud and firm. Anyway, it's an aluminum storm door, and it jiggles whether you pound on it or not. So anyway, I said, wonder what that is, because I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a car go thump, splash into the creek. Didn't hear any broken glass. I don't think anything was broken as far as glass is concerned, but clean up a pump into the creek. It's not uncommon, by the way. It has occurred before in the creek here, lots of different places. I would say shit happens, and it's easy to happen. It's easy considering the condition of the roads, and perhaps if you're going a little too fast on a slippery road, or if you're just driving up the road and you're not paying attention to the curves and the twists and angles of things, you could run off the road fairly easy. Now, you should be paying attention, and you should be, I'm guessing, at least some degree of sober, enough that you are capable of driving safely and responsibly if you have a drink. So she comes down, I go to the door and turn on the light, and I can see that there's a girl standing out there. Well, like I said, I can call her a girl if I want. I'm not misusing the word girl. Okay? What would you want me to call her? A boy? She obviously wasn't a boy. And I didn't know how old she was when I looked through the blind at the girl. could have been a little old lady who just happened to look younger than an old lady. And she could have been perhaps 16 and just appeared to be 22. Worn and haggard, like a lot of people that live in the hills around here look for some reason. I don't know. We're not going to get into the biological development and appearances thing. We just won't get into that. That's beside the point. So anyway, I open the door and there's something about can you? I don't think she even hesitated. Can you take me over to Carolina Apartments? I wrecked my car and I drove it into the ditch, and it, and it was, like a sad story. She was obviously shook enough. She had a little blood on her lip there, and she was, and I'm like, what? And huh? So the first thing I think is, for one thing is, like, are you okay? And, things like that. I think about the important stuff, like, are you okay? Are you hurt? And she said just her lip was hurt. And if she was bruised or otherwise jumbled in any other part of her body at that point, she'll probably not know about that until this morning when she wakes up and every ounce, every bone in her body aches and muscle, whatever, from the shock of going boom into the creek in her car. Not in the car, not her without a car, if you understand what I'm saying. I mean, if she was just go belly plopping into the creek without a car, I'm guessing that would hurt because there are rocks and shit in the creek. So she was in the car when the car went plop into the creek, which may be severely damaged. I'm guessing. So anyway, and I step in, and I'm like, I usually have a little routine that I go through in life. I mean, in my life, my life is rather routine. I mean, there's procedures I go through. This is this, this is this, this and this, this and this. It's what I do. And it's a routine, and I'm accustomed to it. So when something out of the ordinary happens, and then I'm kind of cast out of my little comfort zone of normalcy, and I question, like, what? What do I do now? And so anyway, she asked me, is that Caroline? I'm like, you want to use the phone? And she said, you want me to call somebody? Because I didn't think it was a good idea for her just to go away. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Why would I take you to someplace? Let's stay here and take care of the business and deal with your car and make sure everything's okay and you're okay and stuff. No, she pretty much said that. And I said, we can call somebody. I got a phone. And she said, my phone. Here's the thing about young folks. She said, I can't do the. I don't have the phone number. I have to. My phone isn't working. I crashed my phone in the wreck, I guess, in the car with the crash. The phone got broken, and she's holding it up, trying to make it work, and it was just like black screen. There was nothing. And she said, my number's on the phone that you would want to call. Now, I don't know if she knows her own phone number or not. I doubt it. But she couldn't call anybody because the phone wouldn't work. So it's like when I went to McDonald's one time and I said, and I gave her, and I bought something and it was like 89 cents, and I gave him a dollar bill, and she said, I can't give you change for the dollar bill because the computer cash register is not working. Think about that. A dollar, that's 100 cents, and I bought something for 9 cents, and she couldn't give me change without the damn computer machine telling her how much change to give me. I don't think anybody over the age of 4 would have a problem, well, maybe 6, would have a problem thinking 100 cents less 89 cents is 11 cents. So anyway, that was McDonald's, and I hope that people that work at McDonald's are not that dumb in general. I mean, I hope that was just an exception to the rule. And that she actually couldn't figure out how much 89 away from $1 was. I mean, seriously, 11 cents. Yes, you give me a dime and a penny out of the freaking drawer there. Fortunately, in the McDonald's incident, the supervisor came by, a nice lady. I don't know if she's a lady or not, but, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Nice lady came over and said, you give him a dime and a penny. And she said it, like a supervisor would say, kind of kind, but firm, is what I'm saying. And the girl was standing there, looking like, huh? So anyway, back to my story. A dime and a penny out of $1 for 89 cents. How dumb. How utterly dependent on a fucking machine have Americans become that dumbed down that they can't do a simple math problem in their freaking head? She could have very well, wrote it down with a pencil and a piece of paper, if they even had such things in McDonald's these days. I mean, you have a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. I have in my pocket a pen and a piece of paper. I mean, I don't go anywhere without that. I mean, duh. So anyway, because I don't carry a calculator or a computer around in my backpack or whatever. So, anyhow, that's just amazing. Gee, if the lights were off and you couldn't, and it was dark and you wanted to turn the lights on, I can't see. Why? Because the lights are off. Turn the light switch on. What's a light switch? Never mind. Moving on. So back to my story. So we have, and I'm thinking we're going to have 2 segments on this because I'm already half through the show and I haven't even got into the crux of the matter. So anyway, she's there. She can't tell me I can't call anyone on my phone, my landline phone, because she doesn't know any numbers of whoever she's going to call. I would call maybe Dad or some significant family member to I have a problem, Dad, can you come and get me? Or somebody, friend, brother, whatever. Boyfriend, husband. Apparently she didn't have a husband or boyfriend. I don't know. And and I felt sorry for her because people go by my house, they run into the ditch, they run into the creek, they have flat tires, they run out of gas, various things. And I have a 1-lane bridge in front of the house, and people think that 1-lane bridge is wide enough for 2 vehicles to go past each other at the same time. It's not possible, but they apparently think so. And they're like 60 miles an hour down to, it's like a 35 mile an hour zone. I mean, why would anybody go more than 35? Anyway, they go under 60 miles an hour now they're there, and then another car is coming up towards the bridge from the other. You can't really see on the other side of the bridge real clearly, particularly in summer when the trees are up and stuff. And, they both meet at the bridge at the same time, and then screeching of brakes and crashing and bending of metal and crunching of glass and banging against the side of the bridge, which is concrete. And ouch, ooch, ouch, ooch, and stuff like that. And then, in which case, I'm like, you shouldn't have been going so damn fast. And secondly, didn't you see the sign that says 1-lane bridge? Which is pretty large and prominent. And if you live up the holler from me, you're familiar with the bridge, seeing as how you probably go past that bridge, one way or the other, every day, perhaps. So you know it's there. It's not like you don't know it's there. if you live anywhere, if you've been up to the holler before, or down the holler, up, down to work or school or whatever, you know the bridge is there. And it's only wide enough for one vehicle at a time. And anyway, why would you do that? So anyway, they hit head on and various things, and crunching of cars and banging of people and shit like that. So anyway, it happens. Where I am, it happens often. I would say not as often as a drive-by shooting in Chicago, but still. But it happens. So I'm kind of like accustomed to it to some degree. And so when I hear a crunch or a crash or a bang and glass breaking and metal crunching and things and screeching of brakes, tires on the pavement, then I think, uh-oh, and I jump and I look and I say, but I didn't hear anything at all about this. And I might say it was about 300 feet away from my house, 250 feet away from the house. And I should have heard it, but I didn't. So anyway, she can't call anybody. She doesn't know the phone. She said, I can go on Facebook, and I'd have to go on Facebook and have to go to my friend's house or wherever, to get on Facebook so I can leave a message for my brother or whatever. And you don't know a phone number? That's weird. Now, of course, she was shook up and she was kind of scared, and she was realizing, I'm sure that, she's going to be in deep trouble with somebody, like her father or whatever. Like, you did what? You fucking wrecked the car, you freaking little brat, you. Whatever. I don't know how the father would react to that, or the mother, or husband, boyfriend, or neighbor, or whatever, family, aunt, uncle, whoever, who would first learn that she actually was careless enough to drive her car into the creek. Now, I guess this will be pretty much the preliminaries of this story, because I'm obviously not going to have enough time in this segment to tell you the whole story and my comments on the story. All right. So I'm like, no, what I could have done was just said, no, I can't take you anywhere. You're just fucked. Maybe if you want to go out and stand along the road and, look sad and decrepit and feel bad and, like, appear to be, like, totally lost and, like maybe you had a brain concussion or something, and somebody might drive by and feel sorry for you and stop and say, what? And you'll say, I am in the ditch, and they would take you somewhere. I don't know. Or you could call 911, the cops can come out and maybe bring an ambulance and, check out your lip and other things. And, the cop could deal with that and call a tow truck and so on. But I didn't say that. Because, after all, I am sort of a kind and considerate and caring person, and I feel bad for people that get into situations like that. Like, like I said, first, are you injured? Second, how can I help? And she suggested I take her to a place over across the hill in another little community. Not a town, not a city, just a neighborhood on the side of the hillside, as is often the case in West Virginia. Coal mining towns and all that. So, I'm like thinking, like, I didn't really want to go out. I mean, I didn't really expect it to have to go out. It's probably cold and I just didn't want to. But I didn't see any choice. What do? I can't just put her out in the street. I mean, she's been in a trauma there. She didn't want me to call 911, and I said, well, actually, what would 911 would be a problem? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, people, like I said, it's common for people to run in the ditch or slide off the road in the snowy or icy roads or whatever, slide in the ditch, or they miscalculate the curve and kind of run off the road, and they, whatever. run out of gas, and so forth. I have a flat tire, and I want to be helpful. I'm a good kind of guy. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not stupid. I'm not goodly stupid. I'm just good. I try to be decent human being, civilized, and so on. And I didn't see this as a 911 situation. She wasn't injured. She didn't need a rescue squad to come out. She didn't need. What would a policeman do? Like what? Take her home, like a good civilized human being would do? No. Would he help her? Call her mom or dad or whatever? Probably not. How police are. Now, here, we're going to get to the police thing in a minute, and that's really the interesting part. No, I don't want to, I'm not going to say that. Maybe next time. Maybe in the next episode I'll talk about the looks and appearance of this young woman. Hey, young woman, that's good. That's good. Did I finish about the child thing? She wasn't a child because the child was, she's some parent's child, but she wasn't a child biologically speaking. Scientifically, biologically speaking. She's somebody's child, but not a child. To everyone else that's not her parent. All right. Bear that in mind in the future. Child, prepubescent, under 12, generally, child. Like, if you're a girl child, in the biological sense of the word child, you don't have boobs, and you don't bleed out of your vagina once a month. All right. That would be a child. If you have boobs, and you bleed out of your vagina, chances are you're not a child, biologically speaking. And that should apply legally as well as socially, etc. Anyway, she had boobs, and she obviously was not wearing diapers, and she spoke English, and, as best as most Americans, or at least West Virginians, can do. So I said, all right, I'll take you, because can't call anybody. And she said Facebook. She said, I'd have to leave a message. I have my computer's right there. It was on. I was probably even had Facebook on in the background. I could have just said, sit down and there you go. Go on to Facebook. I could have helped her. I could have gone on to Facebook and said, okay, you log in to yourself and send a message. And I don't know what good that would have done. Could have maybe resulted in someone coming to her aid, like a friend or brother or whatever, or her dad, maybe, if her dad has Facebook. Or they could have delivered a message, is what I'm saying. She could have got a message, contacted somebody in her family or whatever, friends that could have come and helped her, picked her up, and dealt with the car thing in the creek. But I didn't do that. Basically because I didn't want to spend any more time on this than necessary. I just, I wanted to get back to my routine. And in the evenings, I work on my art and other projects. So anyway, I didn't do that, and I just... and another thing, by the way, cell phones, as a general rule, don't work in my house or in around my area where I live, because it's in a valley and there's no towers for cell phones to work off of. I guess there could be cell phones that actually work off of satellites or something, but it's possible that the satellites that would work or make cell phones work or operate would be, over on the other side of the top of the tip of the mountain or the hill on the other side, and wouldn't get a signal from the satellite either. I don't, so I just assume nobody else's cell phone works here either. So even if she could have got her cell phone on, she couldn't have called anybody with her cell phone. Not from my house, at least. You have to go down to the end of the holler, where there are towers, signals that are able to pick up the signal, and so on. So anyway, what we have is a situation. So I'm a good Samaritan, right? Yeah, we all know what happens to them, don't we? No good deed goes unpunished. Well, I'm getting to that part when we get to the police officer part of the story. All right, so here she is, and there I am, and it's 10:30 somewhere in there, like dark, cold, and like, all right, and it's Carolina. It's like just over the hill. I know where it is, and familiar with it. Been there many times, and okay, and so I'll just do that. I'll take her to the place. So we go out and get in the car. Oh, by the way, just so you know, anytime someone comes to my house, particularly after dark or at night or in the middle of the night, I have my firearm at ready. What that means is I have a gun loaded within reach at all times in my home. And sometimes when I'm away from my home or outside in the yard or down the road in my vehicle driving to go to the store, whatever, I have my gun with me. I don't trust people. Because how many times has somebody come to the door of a house and with a little story and trick you into letting them into your house only to be beat up, robbed, killed, raped, etc. Now, to be honest with you, I've actually had situations where somebody came to my door, knock, give me a sad story, and they needed something, like needed a ride, needed gasoline, needed to use the phone, maybe just needed money. Believe it or not, people actually knock on the doors and say, "Can I have money?" I'm like, really? You're gonna ask a total stranger in the freaking middle of the night for money? Like, just that, straight out? Can you loan me $20? What? Yeah. Seriously, they do that. And that happened to me one time. The girl she was kind of pretty, in a hillbilly kind of way. And, she was at least cute. And she was wearing, it was warm, it was summertime. And she was wearing I don't know what you call those things. Her shirt was like one of those that shows cleavage and the tops of boobs. You could see a good dealy bit of her, mammary glands. And like, first thing I noticed, because I'm a guy and I don't get out much, and she was being all cute, girly like, and like, I don't know, she was probably about 22 years old too, I guess, maybe somewhere near 20, 22, and a little haggard, like this girl last night was. I'm not saying anything nasty. I'm not saying they were ugly or anything. They're not ugly. Either one of them. The one last night or the one I'm talking about in the story now. She, anyway, she had, there was a car in the driveway, and I think, that's interesting. Yeah. And it was after dark, like I said. It wasn't after dark. It might not have been, it might have been in the evening. Anyway, the one, she said, so my husband wanted me to ask you if you could loan him $10 because we got to buy diapers. I don't have any money until payday, and if you loan him $10, he'll give you back the money. He'll pay you back on payday, which in these parts, under those circumstances, I'm going to guess would be when their welfare check came in. All right. Well, anyway, no, it was daylight as I recall, and I'm thinking, why would you send your wife to the stranger's house door to ask for money? What? I mean, what kind of man was this that would send his cute little wife with a nice little tits showing, a lot of them, tits showing? Why would he send his, sexy, rather nice, pleasant titty girl wife to my house, to a stranger's house? Why would he do that? What kind of man is that would send his cute little wife with, a lot of breasts showing to a stranger's door. Not even, you know how dangerous that could be? Like, okay, I could have just grabbed her in the house and, bucked the shit out of her. By the time he got out of his car into my door, which I would have locked, he wouldn't be able to get in. I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, it could happen. There are weird, disgusting people in the world. So, I was, what? Why would you? Anyway, so the upshot of that was he apparently sent his sexy-looking wife to my house, to the door, to ask for money because he figured that I'm a sap for girls and that I am so deprived of visions of boobs in my face and in my front door or in my living room, as the case may be, that I would just hand over my money out of the goodness of my heart without questioning. Oh, you need diapers. Pampers, actually. You need Pampers, and you got a baby, and you're just pathetic, and you're sad, and you're broke, and you need the money. You need diapers. Like, okay, sure, here's $10. Yeah, like I would do that. Without questioning. Without even saying, what? Anyway, and I did say what, to myself at least. And I was concerned because she was maybe trying to distract me at the front door while her boyfriend or husband came in the back door and caught me in the head and stole everything I had. Could have been drug addicts or something, I don't know. Or just bad people that like to go around sneaking into people's, conniving themselves into my house or a guy's house and think, he's an old guy, he's probably not, he's harmless. We can just go in and smack him around a couple times and, steal his money and his guns probably even. Who knows? So, anyway, the bottom line there was, I went out to the car and I talked to the guy, whatever his name was, John, and I did recognize him kind of. I'd seen him before, and so apparently that's why he stopped at my house, because he said, he knows me, and he's a good guy, and he'll do this. But I'm visiting my wife, my cute little wife with the little boobs sticking out a lot, and that'll convince him. He'll give money to girls, you know how he is. He's like, really, I'm a old bastard. But I didn't. So anyway, I talked to him, and I said, I'll tell you what, since it's for diapers and not like food, and I'm thinking they want to buy some crack, or beer or something, and why didn't he ask his family, and anyway, it doesn't matter. And apparently they have gasoline for the car. So anyway, the bottom line is I gave him $20, and I said, on one condition, that you have to come back and do some chores or something for me. Work it off. So you don't have to bring me back money. Just come back with your body, and you can work for it and earn the money that I give you. And so I gave him $20, and he said, sure, I will. And I said, okay, you come in, like, say tomorrow, if you're not working, which obviously he wasn't. And you can come by, and I've got some chores around the house that can be done. And you come tomorrow, and you can work it off. You don't have to pay me back. You just work for a couple hours or something. And that would be great. You'd help me out, and you would be helping him out, and he would still be an honorable, civilized human being. All right, so I'm going to stop here. We'll start out with the second segment almost immediately, and we'll finish the story and get to the good stuff with the cop, the police officer guy. Yeah, him. Yeah, we'll tell you about that. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back.